Hold on. This might be a world record. Hold on. I think we're live. Yep. We are actually live for once. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new stream, and that is right. We are live on this beautiful May 27th, 2025. I hope everyone's having a great day. I'm having a great day myself. And, of course, we're joined by Mr. Real Texan Politics.
Hello.
Yeah, so we're early, I know. I got on early today. I thought, you know what? Start a minute early. Start a minute early for once. So, we have a lot to talk about. We have some brand new Rasmussen polling that suggests that things are looking pretty good. We have new consumer confidence data coming out that the stock market went crazy over. So, yeah, there's a lot happening in the world. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and, of course, join the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content. And if you want to get your questions or concerns answered or want to support the channel even further, best way is sending super chats via the chat. Again, I read through as much of chat as possible, but usually super chats are the best way your questions answered. So, yeah, send super chats. And, of course, join America First Insight. They are the sponsor of these streams. So, go to America First Insight, become a member there, use a code REAL. These are great ways to support the content. All right. So, what should we start with today? Because a lot's happening. I guess we could start the big news of the morning, the bombshell poll that came out earlier today. Which, I gotta switch over to this.
There's two of them for Rasmussen, but we'll go over the one that's in the title of the stream.
Yeah, so this is the big one that I think a lot of people saw by now. So for those that don't know, Rasmussen, they're a very good pollster. They're not perfect, but they're usually pretty good. And according to Mark Mitchell, the chief pollster at Rasmussen reports, for the first time in their polling history, a majority says the country's on the right track. Yeah, this is history in the making. This has never happened. According, I think they started in 2006 or something. I gotta confirm that.
Yeah, which was that's when Bush's approval was probably in the 20s. So.
Yeah. They were, that's when it started to crash and burn. But yeah, this is the first time in history, according to Rasmussen, which again, that means the last 20 years. So basically ever since, I guess the war in Iraq, kind of good, kind of a good starting point. Ever since the war in Iraq, it's been negative for a long time. Well, now, it's positive. It's actually a majority positive. There's been some approval here and there that's been, yeah. This is old news. No, it's not. Because it was a plurality. It was like +1. According to Rasmussen right now, it's a majority. And, on top of that, it's by 5 points. It's not a small percent saying, oh, it's things are getting better. No. This is uncharted territory. This has never happened before. So, and I think they had a +6 in approval, which again, Rasmussen's approval fluctuates, but this is just historical what happened. That's why I kind of making a big deal about it, because this has never happened before. So, yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. I gotta check on the, RCP, direction of country. Let's see, they haven't updated it yet. But yeah, the direction of country is the best it's been ever, according to RCP. So, yeah, 31% of Democrats. Yeah, that's the thing with RCP. They do get some weird results. I think they had a majority of Hispanics that approve of Trump, which actually it's not that crazy anymore, because I think Insider Advantage had +20 with them. So, I don't know. But yeah, right now it's 50% say we're on the right track, 45% wrong direction, and it's a big majority of Republicans, 50-50 with other. Surprisingly, the most pro-Trump group is actually other. So it's Hispanics and Asians.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And blacks are a 39% right track. Wow. So really what's holding it back is, take a guess who? Take a guess who's holding it back.
Boomers.
Yep, the old-ass white people. That's the only demographic that's, being hesitant. Because the other groups, they've swung 20 points Republican. It's old-ass white people. Every time. Oh my gosh. The question is, how do you deal with them? How do you deal with the boomer problem?
They'll be gone one day.
Oh, jeez. Hey, John. Hello.
Hey, I hope you guys are having a fantastic Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hello.
Are you doing any better?
Oh, yeah. No, I told you guys on X yesterday I got a walker, And because actually we were getting my grandfather a new walker, and so I got his hand me down, but it has a little basket I can carry shit in. I'm freaking I look, I'm so mobile. I made myself lunch today. Like I made myself lunch instead of waiting for Sweetie to get home.
Bro.
No, no, it's great. I have a bowl of beef stroganoff in front of me. I'm freaking hype, man. I'm
Well,
doing great.
hope you're doing better. That's pretty good. So it sounds like you're in better spirits than a couple days ago, so that's good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, no, no. I mean, I'm still in like a fuck ton of pain, but like, other than that, I'm just like so happy I can actually move around the
That's
house.
good.
Oh god.
It's getting better. So yeah. We're talking about the right track, wrong direction. It's first time ever it's a majority right track, which is just I was not expecting to be this soon, but here we are, I guess, in the middle of May. Not even, what, 4 months? 4 months, I think, actually, since Trump got inaugurated, right? Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it goes to that general consensus. You see, everybody over the past 5 years lost complete confidence of anything that the people on the big bright tube screen say. We look at that statistic over and over again, and it's just like a despairingly small number of people that actually believe even what the people on Fox News that they bring on say. And it's mostly just Democrats that still believe mainstream media. So this 50% right track makes perfect sense to me. You look at what the administration is doing, and regardless of results we've yet to see, we have promise of good results. The economy hasn't fallen out on itself like all the like analysts said it would. And simultaneously, you just have this sentiment that the government actually gives a crap about like the average productive member of society. So that's really,
Yeah.
I think that's all pushing into this 50% right track.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, guys, obviously it's been going up for a while. It just, what makes this a big deal is it's a majority now. This has never happened. That's why it's a big deal. And it's not by a small 1% margin. It's 50% right track, 45% wrong direction. So, I know it's Rasmussen, they fluctuate, but when they have started stuff like this is a trend. This is not just, one-off occurrence. It's been going on for a while. The fact that it's still going up, even, again, the economy is not in good shape right now. It's getting better, I think. And that's why people are saying, oh, things are going great, actually. But I do think just by default, it's getting better. And what's it going to be like in 2 years? I mean, if it's already
Well, it all
50%.
No, it really depends on what the administration does. I mean, it's game time, but looking at the current trajectory, they say this week that we may hear an announcement about an India trade deal. If we get through the summer and there's been real substantive progress towards fair trade deals towards America, it looks like we're really actually kicking the stuff. The tax cuts get through, and it's all of it's up in the air. But if all of that goes through, I mean, we're sitting pretty. There's going to be a lot of right track indicators from the public. It's probably going to go up to 60.
I mean, just today, guys, like the consumer sentiment, which is kind of a big deal. Everyone's complaining, no, it crashed last month. It's back up to normal. Axios reports that the consumer sentiment jumped. It's up to 98, which last month was 86. So, yeah. Let's read this. Basically, people are regaining confidence. Wow, it turns out people are panicking for no reason. All those people that sold their stocks when they should have just held on. How are they looking right now? Let's see how the stock market's looking. Oh, it's about back to the record high that was a couple months ago. Great. So, that was a waste of time. All those people complaining about the economy like it's going to sink by 80%. Yeah, turns out the experts are wrong like usual. It's up by 1.8% today.
It's really funny. Even Thomas Sowell, who spent a couple of minutes in a long interview, he's pretty old now, but he's a famous economist. Thomas Sowell even kind of flipped his position on what Trump was doing, and it was mostly because at the start, all these people were flipping their pants over, and they had no idea what was going on, and they were scared of Trump. And Sowell's words specifically at the time were, uncertainty is produced by the situation where you create all the rules. If Trump creates all the rules for the trade negotiations, then there's uncertainty. But Trump and his team counteracted that by basically standardizing the approach to every single country and say, listen, we have a very simple objective. We have a very, not so simple formula, but simple enough for a layman to understand. We are trying to fix this problem. The more you help us fix this problem with our unbalanced trade deficit, the more that we are going to give you beneficial trade deals. Like we're going to give you access to our market and everything else. And as it turns out, he really does have the upper hand. The country with the trade deficit, the consumer market, has the advantage in all of these negotiations. And so it just turned out that simple logic, the very simple approach, has allowed countries to be able to amicably conduct trade conversations with us. And it's really, really showing in consumer confidence. People are like, okay, well, this is all going to get sorted out. I'm not worried.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. K-Cup for 2. Don't be panicking by the dip. Trump 2025. Yeah.
Now it's not on the right track from Rasmussen.
Oh yeah, there's another part we got to look at.
Yeah. They didn't actually release the poll, but they did tease it. Support for Israel is
it's cratering right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So according to Mark Mitchell, support for Israel is plunging, and I'm not surprised. I'm surprised. This should surprise no one. I mean, seriously, every day they just keep shooting themselves in the foot, literally. I have no clue what they're trying to accomplish at this point. Anyone know?
I think they just believe
full and complete takeover of Gaza. That's basically what they're trying to accomplish now.
There's a certain hubris and moral superiority that many people would argue is mildly earned by the people that they're having to interact with. But then again, when you look at the American public, they look at everything that Israel has done to create a humanitarian crisis in this area, and they go, yeah, you guys have really no moral ground to stand on. And so I think that's the thing. I don't see American sentiment turning fully away from Israel, but no. I definitely think they are severely damaging themselves, probably turning the entire country very ambivalent towards Israel right now.
I mean, it's just like, I don't get, like, why is Netanyahu still there? Why? How can anyone support that guy at this point?
He's basically the wartime leader, so...
Yeah, but even his own government's about to collapse and stuff. It's just, well, that's Israel in a nutshell. But the point is, I don't know. It's one of those things where we'll see what happens. There's been a lot of talks about what Trump's to do with Israel. I don't know, but we'll see. Israel should stop bothering us. They have money in tanks. Yeah, Israel's an 80-20 issue. I wouldn't say it's an 80-20 issue. Well, maybe in terms of people want the war to end. Yeah, I guess. But I don't know if it's really 80-20 yet, in terms of, like, people supporting Palestine. I don't know.
I think sympathy for Palestine is probably at an all-time high.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I think somebody that says, like, Israel being an 80-20 issue is failing to recognize that there's been a lot of damage done to the other side of the issue by the behaviors of the activists here domestically. And we see them more than we see any of the humanitarian stuff going on in this region of the world. That's happening, like, what, 8,000 miles, 8,000 miles away, or not that many miles, it's less than that, but it's happening a few thousand miles away. And over here, we see people tearing up our campuses and just desecrating our statues and burning American flags. So that's part of the problem. And so I definitely think it's probably a lot closer to a 60-40 issue in reality. And it's going to start tilting against Israel really heavily the more that they continue to act with hubris and not really coordinate with the U.S. government.
All right, American Nerd for 2. Isn't Netanyahu the longest serving prime minister in Israel? Yes, he is. Which explains a lot.
He served back in the 2000s.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, he's been there for a while. Then he got thrown out. Then he got thrown out again, and then came back. It's a mess. That's Israel in a nutshell. I don't think they've had a stable government in like 20 years. Yeah, those are pro-Hamas people. Yeah, that's a problem. Like, if those morons of the campuses then kept their mouths shut, it would probably be an 80-20 issue right now. I mean, seriously, like, you're gonna align with Hamas? At least go with the I can never say what is it again? The freaking the one in the West Bank.
Fatah?
Yeah, Fatah. Align with them. Why would you align with Hamas? That was stupid. Because now,
Well, I guess the war is like against Hamas rather than Fatah.
I don't know, it's just stupid. I think it was stupid. I mean, and people make a big deal like, oh, it's these people, they're only going after them because they're anti-Israel. No, like that's the reason now, but these are the same people that were like tearing down statues 5 years ago because BLM crap. That's who these people are. So
It's anecdotal, but they did Palestine protests multiple times in the city next to my city. And I talked with people at grocery stores and just like normal people, and like everybody's like, yeah, they're fucking retards, dude. And look, I'm in the deep south. I'm in the deep south, so it's a little different. But to me, that anecdotal experience, what it tells me is like, you're absolutely right. Just remove these morons that are like crying about river to the sea. Remove the morons that are basically just anti-American dispositionally, and it probably turns into an 80-20 issue.
yeah, I mean, like this is the thing. Like people understand, like they're going after them not because they're protesting Israel. That's not true. That's what these people understand. They're not going after them because they're protesting Israel. There's a bunch of protests of Israel that are peaceful, okay, and no one goes after them. They're going after people that are literally targeting Jewish students. There's videos of them locking them in a door and like a room and stuff. They can't get out, and they're harassing them. Gee, I wonder.
And
why
then
we're
not
going
to
after
mention,
them.
what happened, and not to mention what happened in DC.
Yeah, I mean, that's who they're
Like
going
that,
after.
those are legitimate pro-Hamas people.
Yeah,
And
guys,
anti-Semites.
there's a bunch of people that 95% of people protested are peaceful. Notice they don't go after them. They're going after the ones that are literally saying we need violence, and they're literally doing stuff now. I don't get why these people can't comprehend that. Yes, there's freedom of speech, and again, I will be against arresting people just because they're anti-Israel. That's not what's happening here. They're going after people that are committing violence. Wow, I wonder why we're going after them. It just so happens they're doing it because of Israel stuff. Wow, is that just a conspiracy?
I mean, if this international conflict was not going on, there would be some other issue that they would be protesting, because like this is like the nature of these people, and that's what we're looking at. Like when people hate the pro Hamas or the pro Palestinian protesters, that's what they're seeing. They're just seeing a contemptible human being that has existed on this continent for 5 or 6 decades. They protest wars without knowing jack crap about reality, and it completely pushes them away from the average American who's just like actually reasonable about why people go to war and what people go to war for. These are the same people that, promote the white genocide in South Africa. They're the same people that promote the U.S. government discriminating against most of you listening. And so, like, we're just naturally hating these people because they hate us and celebrate us dying.
Like I said yesterday on stream, I know for a fact Quantus Insight's a really good pollster. They're going to actually be pulling this. They're going to try to find they're going to see there's a correlation between those that are anti-Israel and those that are anti-white, anti-American, and anti-West in general. They're pulling this, I know that. Or they theoretically are, that's what they said. So, I'm curious. Like, what's a correlation between those that are like, they hate the West and stuff, and like, that's just who these people are. They hate the world. So...
It's like, it's a reasonable thing to protest, like, associated with the worst possible group of people. It's like... It's like hiring that guy that tried to become the governor of North Carolina to like run your campaign for you,
Mm-hmm.
All right, American Nerd for 3. Old Palestinians are Hamas. Yeah, that's Randy Fine. I mean, that's another thing. Like, both sides are idiots. Like, the extreme, like, there's one side that's like literally like, oh, we must nuke Israel or something. The other side's like, oh, Hamas is good.
You
must
choose between Randy Fine and Jackson Hinkle. There was no middle ground. You must pick one of those sides. If you don't, you should move to Europe.
Oh my gosh, American Nerd for 2. I think pro-Hamas people are like German mustache man. Anyways, enough of that.
No.
I mean, there was
okay. Luke, shut up.
Okay.
We're not going down this rabbit hole. All right. Let's see here. There's a large portion of left-wingers who only hate Israel because they view it as a white settler colonial state. Yeah, I mean, you're not far from the truth. They literally say.
Other people have made this observation. It's the oppressor versus oppressed dynamic, and they're just applying it to big country Israel, small country Gaza. Like that. That's it. Like that's all they're doing.
Yeah, and like I'm against what's happening because it's literally innocents are dying. It's the same with like the Ukrainian war. I just want the war to end. Just make a deal. People are dying for no reason. Wow, is that such a controversial take now? I don't want people dying. Wow. What a
Yeah,
hot
like,
take.
I am
there's, I guess
we
certain
are all
feedback to
we
it.
are all fully aware. I think everybody in this chat is fully aware of the problems associated with the population in the Gaza Strip. We all understand why none of these other Arab countries want to take them as
Yeah, we
refugees.
talked a lot about
We
this.
understand we understand all of the nuance to that specific situation. At the end of the day, what Israel wants to do essentially is like, well, you know, uh, if we don't let them have food and like we just kind of blockade everything on, like maybe like we can just turn this into a parking lot. Like that's it is completely it's a horrifying solution
I know
to what is
Jared
admittedly a
Kushner
terrible
wanted to like
problem.
build beachside houses in Gaza. I remember that was a big
I
thing.
remember that.
And
Yeah.
and we really, I think the people in this chat, we appreciate what Trump's trying to do, which is like temporarily relocate these people and then actually build them something, an economic zone where they have zero incentive to ever fight. And if they do fight, that like an Arab authority state will punish them for trying to harm the neighboring state. Like that seems like a much more amicable solution. Israel can't get along with these people. The Gazans can't get along with the Israelis. They both want each other dead. Get a referee. And the referee is some rich Saudi prince or something.
All right, American Air for 3. This entire conflict is old Britain's fault. What? Old Britain's fault? What did the British
And
do?
he's talking.
That's
He's talking about
dude,
the.
that's another one of these like anti-Western thing. Like anytime there's a foreign conflict anywhere, it's just, oh, this is the colonial, this is the British, this is the French, this is like that. That's the same thing with this.
He's
Like,
referring to the like proposed solution by the British state going on. The
Oh,
Britain,
yeah,
look,
yeah.
to be honest, historically speaking, if what the British had done was good, then the UN wouldn't have had to like come in decades later. Like look, we get it. We get it. Yeah, the British didn't do the best of jobs with that specific
well, I know they
situation.
really sucked at partitioning the Middle East.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
they screwed that up big
all
time.
the lines. Like look even back to like the Lawrence of Arabia, like back then. Look at how they drew the lines of these other nations. Like it was a mess. Like none of these ethnic groups had anything in common.
Yeah,
There's a reason.
If
Yeah.
they would have drawn the lines based off like actual like groups and stuff like history, there would be problems still because it's that region, but it won't be as bad.
Yeah, there was no consideration for the populations. It was just, well, France wants this part of the Middle East,
Yeah, we'll
Britain
take
wants this
Syria.
part of the Middle East.
We'll take Syria.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
heard Saudi Arabia was like the worst drawn because they just drew like a bunch of ethnic groups that had nothing to do with like Saudis into that country.
All right, Mike.
Especially like the Kurds and shit.
Yeah, Mike for 2. You're anti-Semitic if you want to nuke Palestine. Yeah, that's our part that's stupid, guys. Like you can be pro-Israel, but like some of these people, they literally want to like turn Gaza into like a parking lot. Like unironically, they want to turn into a parking lot for no reason.
That sounds kind of anti-Semitic rap. I'm gonna have to report you to the ADL.
Oh gosh. All right.
Grim Sparrow's asking me about a two-state solution. Look, in terms of quote unquote two-state solution, this is the conclusion. This is just hard reality for anybody listening. These people cannot govern themselves. Israel cannot govern them because they will destroy them.
Yep.
They will exterminate them. This like just don't even try. And that's why I'm saying what Trump's idea is basically use economics to call in a referee and let people from these richer, wealthier states that are actually successfully building themselves up without Western support, let those people govern the people that live there. They're of similar ethnicity. Some would argue the same ethnicity. And at the end of the day, if they are policed heavily, which Muslims know a lot about heavily policing people, if they're policed heavily, given economic opportunity, given jobs, and basically anybody that tries to do a terrorist attack on the Israeli land is, severely punished. If that's the situation, then East Palm Beach is a reality, and it'll be headed by people from Qatar and the UAE and Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, well,
And hopefully that's the peaceful. Hopefully that brings peace.
Well, that's what Trump is doing. Like, again, Trump is like pro-Israel. Everyone knows that, but this is not what Israel wants. They literally just want to take and make it a parking lot. Like, Trump is just saying, hey, Qatar, hey, Saudi Arabia, you guys deal with this. You guys deal with this freaking mess.
I think that's the insulting thing to Americans is that we are actually creating a solution that does solve Israel's like existential problem for them. They just don't like it because they want all of these people dead.
Yeah, and
And like
that's what I'm
there's
saying.
not
Oh, sorry.
there's not a lot of nuance in
Well,
that. That's all I was going to say.
What,
Like
what I'm saying is Trump has to put his foot down on this. I don't know why he hasn't. I mean, just put his foot down on this issue. This is stupid. Tell them to knock it off the stupid airstrikes. This is enough.
I think this is just kind of related to everything else Israel is involved in because the second that there's like a severe break between the United States and Israel, Israel probably goes and attacks Iran and destroys their nuclear facilities.
Try to think about that. I mean, that's
Well,
another
yeah,
thing. It's like they say Trump wants war with Iran. No, he doesn't. I don't get these people.
And Yahoo wants war with Iran.
Yeah. It's like, why would Trump be talking with Iran and trying to make a deal and they're saying they're making good progress? Why would he bomb them?
Like Trump said that on Truth Social, and he explicitly has said, like in vocal words, he's like, "I think we can achieve a peaceful solution that is better than going to war with Iran." That is not the sound of someone who wants to go to war with Iran. And as we know from several of his cabinet members, both in leaked private messages and in public messages, we know that these people have that position. They don't want war with Iran.
They want a peaceful solution because they know a war with Iran would just be that would be bad if we went to war with Iran.
It's not like we can't.
Shit show.
It's not like we can't do it, but it heavily distracts us from other policy goals. And also, it completely contradicts the message that Trump campaigned on. So we don't want it.
American Nerd for 3. What was Trump's peace plan for Gaza in term 1? Gaza wasn't that big of an issue then. Like, compared to now, obviously. So, I honestly don't know. I'll look into it. He spoke with Hamas directly. Yeah, I mean, like, that should tell everyone that some of those reports are real. That he's getting sick of going through Israel and that stuff. He's directly talking to Hamas. What does that tell you? Alright, Trump can end the war in Ukraine. Well, that's just both sides being dumbasses. That's just Putin being Putin, and Zelensky being a corrupt asshole. So,
Which, by the way, I think that also leads into the other news. I think Trump is going to want to try to put sanctions on Russia.
yeah, so he applied pressure in Ukraine, and they're starting to slowly kind of bend the knee. Now he's doing the same with Russia. But this is freaking dumb. I know everyone's going to say, oh, he's going to end the war day one. That's what he promised. Yeah, I mean, if these countries were sane, they would have. But then, like, how's Zelensky acting in the White House? It's a mess. It's a mess. But yeah, I do think, when it comes to Russia, I think Trump said they're going to put sanctions on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I support it. You got to end the war. You can't keep this shit from going on. Just end the damn war. Let me pull this up, actually. Trump, sanctions. Russia. Let's see. Yeah, so Trump is gonna more than likely, he's to impose new sanctions on Russia. Alright, Chris Creative for 5. There's no political solution to it. Islam hates Jews, and their Mahdi can't return until the Jews are gone. It's religious. Israel's a affront to Islam. Yeah, that's it. That's an issue that I don't think you ever deal with.
Well, what I'll say, Chris, is I have multiple very close friends, long-term friends that live in the Middle East, and I've actually talked to them about how the temperature has changed around there, especially since the fall of Assad. A lot of these people who have that religious conviction are basically saying, look, guys, we're never going to take care of Israel. We have to and know what they say now is that now they're tying that religious belief to the end time prophecy. Basically, they're like, we're just going to have to wait till the end times, and that's when we destroy Israel. We can't destroy Israel like in the temporal. It has to be at the end times.
Good luck. Good luck with that. K-Cup for 5. If these countries don't want to work to end the war, then Trump might as well cripple both countries and literally give them no option. That's what I think he's going to do. He's just going to say, okay, both countries, we're going to, like, cut off all your money. You're going to get nothing. Mike for 2, I disagree, walk away from Eastern Europe. I would say that should be last resort because I want Trump to end the war. I just want people dying. Because you leave, the concern I have is you do that, you know what the EU is going to do. You know damn well what the EU is going to try to do.
Go to
So
war with Russia?
yeah,
Yes, sir, will.
that's what I'm saying. You gotta negotiate the war then, because
Well, it's funny to me because if we're in different angles of this, I have different angles on this, and it creates different opinions. If you like ask me my opinion on like additional sanctions, like secondary gas sanctions on Russia, when you go into it and you look at our relations with Russia and China, probably a really bad maneuver. But when you look at it in terms of like the EU having to deal with us putting secondary sanctions on Russia for gas and energy, then there are actually some economic upsides to that, especially in the middle of these trade negotiations we're trying to put out with the EU. And so it would push the EU into a really like kind of hard box if we do sanction Russia more. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's different angles to this. If you're talking about in terms of like the trilateral relationship between the United States, Russia, and China, secondary sanctions, pretty bad. But if you're talking about in terms of us trying to like renegotiate trade deals with the world, it might actually be better. That's kind of my opinion on it right now. I do want the war to end, but I also deeply empathize with Mike's position. Just like this is so frustratingly, way too annoying. I would really love to walk away from this. Not an isolationist, but it's not our continent too.
yeah. Hold up, everybody. So we finally got footage of the Secret Service agents fighting each other. For those that don't know, a couple weeks ago, Obama's like Secret Service team, they fought each other, and the video was out. I gotta watch this. I'm curious what this is. I can only imagine. So yeah, this is actually real. So Eric Daughtry posted this. Hey, let me watch this. So apparently, I don't know. Well, let's just see what happened. I can barely see it. What the hell? They're actually going at it. What? Yeah, they're actually fighting each other. For what reason? Aren't they supposed to be protecting Obama's family? Isn't that their job? Right?
It's between two female Secret Service agents because one was late.
Are you serious?
That's according to Benny Johnson, yeah.
So one was late by like 5 minutes. And they started a
Yeah.
fist fight over it.
If you guys see this video and don't believe in the competency crisis, I don't know how to help you.
Oh my gosh. So you're telling me that someone's late by like 5 minutes or whatever. Two clowns fighting. Yeah, that video, like those clowns fighting, that's like a perfect embodiment of this. What a bunch of idiots. They're fighting because of democracy. Yeah, I mean, we have a competency crisis. This is stupid. Over being late by 5 minutes. Did Benny Johnson actually say that?
Yeah.
Obama.
I don't know by 5 minutes, but
I don't know.
he did say that it was because one was late.
Yep, it sounds like, yep, it's because they were late. They were late. What the hell? Even if they're late by an hour or something, just like, punish them, not by a fist fight. I don't know, just say, oh yeah, you get like, I don't know, a fine? Who freaking knows? You gotta love it. You gotta love that these people are protecting our president, by the way. These people are protecting Obama's family.
Trump to cancel all remaining financial contracts with Harvard University. That's from like 3 hours ago.
W. K-Cup for 5. Feminists. A female president would lead to peace worldwide. Female Secret Service agents throw hands because one was late 5 minutes. Yeah. Being late by 5 minutes equals getting your ass kicked. Great. Sounds like something women would fight over. Yeah. Alright, so what's for Harvard, you said?
Trump canceling all remaining financial contracts with Harvard.
Let's see. Yeah. Can you pull up the link? You send it?
Just closed TV, but yeah.
Okay, found it. There we go. Yeah, so Charlie canceled remaining financial contracts with Harvard, which is good. I mean, he's putting pressure on them. He's not pissing around Harvard. I like it. I still think we ought to tax your endowments by 10. Actually, how much we tax our endowments? How much you guys think? 100%? 100% of their
What
income.
whatever puts them out of business.
Yeah. I don't know, just like they're apparently they are taxing the endowments, I think, right? I don't know for sure, but I thought they had a bill proposed and they would increase taxes on like Harvard for the endowments, which I would just say make it like 20%. Actually, no. What's the highest income bracket or income tax bracket? Like 35% or whatever.
I guess. I don't know.
Make it 40%. Make it 40%. And use that money to like, I don't know, invest in trade schools or something. I don't know. Anything better than a Harvard getting it. Because what does Harvard even use the endowments for? Anyone know?
Basically, to train and teach foreign agents to do good jobs in their foreign countries.
Wow.
I mean, like I said, it's like
DEI.
a third of these people come from foreign countries, and then a large pool of these people are taking remedial math in Harvard, and like the most absurd thing you could ever hear. No, it's just a playpen for degeneracy, for like email jobs, like completely useless jobs, and what has honestly become worthless credentials. That's and like I love this. Like this all like ties in. I just like posted from the Department of Labor like a 40-second ad in the general chat. It's like make America skilled again, and it's the advertisingapprenticeship.gov, which apparently can help you get set up if you want to go into a specific trade. And it ties into the story because Trump is basically saying, hey, well, let's take their grants and let's give like $3 billion to trade schools and apprenticeship guilds, like, like across the country. I think that's kind of a beautiful sentiment. It's like, and it shows the very different focus that this administration has on changing our economy.
Yeah, I mean,
Supreme Court news. Supreme Court news.
What?
From like 2 hours ago.
What happened? What is
The Supreme Court declines to hear a Massachusetts student's challenge to his middle school's ban on him wearing a T-shirt bearing the slogan "There are only two genders."
the Supreme Court, everybody? Freaking losers.
Only Alito and Thomas dissented.
Of course. Every time it's always Alito and Thomas. Our Supreme Court sucks.
Small government, everybody. Small
government. American order for two. The Secret Service is such a joke. Just replace them already. I agree. Oh my gosh. People are saying, look at the refined populist comment. What? Wait, is under the tweets? Let's see. Now we'll never know how fast transgender shrimp can run in treadmills. I forgot about that. That's actually a real thing. I mean, that's what Harvard was doing. They weren't doing real stuff. They're studying, hey, how fast can a shrimp run on a treadmill? And it's also transgender. Right.
Do we also need to talk about the RFK news?
We'll get the RFK stuff in a second. But yeah, I do like what Trump is doing with the workforce. Because the big problem we've had is, like, the economy we got is fake. It's completely fake. It's bullshit. It's not real. We don't make anything. What do we make in America now?
We make chemicals. We make a little bit of steel.
Wow.
We make we make machinery parts, and a few other essentials. We do export stuff to other countries. We have competition with that, and it's very interesting when you look at the industries we've let go of and where those countries go, and it shows how we've ended up in this predicament with supply chain dependencies in East Asia. It doesn't actually make a lot of sense, and so. Yeah, no, we make stuff, but we don't make nearly as much as we need to.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta be making more stuff. Actually make stuff here. Alright, let's see. The 4 true principled conservatives and 2 MAGA Christo fascists. Oh gosh. Basically, that's what it is. It's just like you got two people to brand on the Supreme Court, and the 4 are like principled. Principled in quotation. K Comfort 2, forget small and big, give me mid-sized gooberment. That's real. We want mid-sized. Now, not too big, not too small. How about this? Just make it effective. Is it a hot take to say that? Just make the government effective? Wow.
No, that's what JD's been saying for years. Our vice president is just basically saying, hey, look, I think voters are just kind of sick of like Republicans getting into government and doing nothing. They just want government to function now. They care less about small government. They care more about functional government.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of that, people bring up the RFK stuff. So let's talk about this. So RFK at HHS made a pretty big announcement today. We pulled this up. For those that live under a rock, RFK's been fantastic. I would argue of all of the entire cabinet, I think RFK's was underrated. You guys agree?
It's a unique set of priorities that diverge from it, but I think the reason MAGA Republicans have such a great affinity with what RFK is doing is because of how he's really working hard to wind back a lot of this totalitarian nonsense that we experienced during the COVID period. And that's what I commented on earlier today, was that, he's basically pregnant women and young people, young women like young men, they are no longer advised to take those shots. Up until now, they were being advised to take those freaking shots. The mRNA vaccine that causes myocarditis, that causes these things.
Allegedly. Maybe
allegedly. And according to several studies, and also in addition to that, for a virus that has like a 0.6% mortality rate, I believe.
Yeah.
Like it's absolutely nonsense.
This is what
and that. Yeah.
No. Go on. I thought you were done. Go on. No. Go on your thing.
But that's my whole point. The MAGA coalition, even though Maha is adjacent to it, they just remember the horrors of 2020 and 2021 and 22, and they feel like that's finally being put to bed by RFK, and that's why I think he's so popular, even among people that wouldn't traditionally support him.
I mean, it's just common sense. All he's doing is he's just bringing back science. He's just saying, hey, I mean, they're not giving the vaccine. Let's be clear about that. They're not banning it or whatever. They're just saying, is it really necessary for young people to get it? Is it?
Well, again, understand, when they remove that advisory, it means that when you take your child, when I take my child or anybody else takes their child over to get vaccinations, they're no longer going to be asked like, hey, we recommend this shot. And I don't know if you guys have experienced that, because, I know a lot of y'all are young, but, they kind of there's a pressure there that they apply to young people and women that it's hard to resist. I mean, I experienced it when going off to university, because, they're always worried about sexually transmitted diseases. They wanted me to get like an HPV vaccine or something like that, like a shot for it. And I was like, I'm a socially conservative guy. Even when I was 18, it's like, I'm not going to get into funny business. And they're like, yeah, we don't trust you. Yeah. So we're going to make you take this. And it's like, and they say it's supposed to be voluntary, but they push it on you like it's mandatory. And that's why this is such a big deal. No. This is why it's such a big deal.
Now, let's be clear about one thing, guys. Like obviously vaccines work. Well, this is always my stance. It works, but what's happening now is like it's going overboard. Where it's like, do young people really need this for COVID? What's mortality rate like for everybody, including old people? It's like 0.6%. What's mortality rate for somebody that's 20 or 25 or whatever? 0, if that. That's always been my issue. Just like vaccines are fine, but this is what's happening is just crazy. All RFK is saying is, hey, bring back the science. Wow, is that a hot take now? Republicans are pro-science now. Great. American Nerd for 2. The cabinet who ate Bondi hasn't pissed us off. Yeah, I can't think of anybody outside of Bondi that's been a disappointment.
I've heard a lot of people kind of just like not like Christy Noam and feel like she's like a placeholder.
She is.
But yeah, and also this was actually a Memorial Day conversation. We were like, gathered around with the family, and someone was like, "Man, why did they put that Barbie, plastic surgery Barbie doll up there in charge of the DHS?" But then listen, you remember that we got Homan, we got Stephen Miller, we got some golden boys who wouldn't have made it through the nomination process. So just like, we're not upset about that, even if like Christy Noam is in fact kind of like a placeholder.
Yeah, she's just the face of it. That's what it is. She's just the face of it. Because,
basically.
Yeah. Hendon Hooker stand for 5. RFK, Rubio, Higgs, Zeldin, and Tulsi with Trump's best cabinet pick so far, unless there's somebody I haven't mentioned yet. Yeah, I agree. I guess.
Oh yeah, did you guys see Zeldin going through the museum, the science museum that
Yeah, I
he was
saw
shutting
that.
down? Did you guys see it? Oh, that was so good.
Science. That's totally science. Um.
What exactly is science about the museum?
Um.
It
Anyways.
was like climate change and a bunch of other bull crap, and like Zeldin was like openly criticizing it. I actually think I may be misunderstanding it. That might have been the museum they were planning to put a Fauci statue in. I don't
Yes, I think
know.
it
I'll
was.
know for
They're
sure.
gonna put a statue of Fauci. Oh my gosh.
Uh,
But yeah, I'm gonna say Tulsi's been excellent. It just freaking Hank Seth or not Hank Seth. What Cash Patel and Bongino. That we gotta talk, but that I'm having some issues now. I'm listen. I gave them time, like especially it's mostly Pam Bonnie's fault for being worthless, but I don't know what the FBI is doing. Like they're doing good stuff. Let's be clear. It's not like they're doing nothing. They're actually like doing their jobs, which is good. But at the same time, why are they still worried about the cocaine stuff with Hunter Biden? Why are they worried about that?
They're rhinos because they don't think Epstein off. Yeah.
Like, listen, my issue is just they're like being redirected to focus on stuff that doesn't matter. And I don't know if that's because Pam Bonnie's worthless. I think that's part of it. But I don't know.
well, I know a lot of people feel like they've been MK Ultra'd or like that
No.
something horrible has happened to Cash and Bongino. But the one positive thing I'll say about what Cash has done so far is he relocated, I think, 1,300 personnel from the main branch that he's trying to shut down into other offices. And the quote was, you know, we have a third of all FBI members here, but a third of the crime doesn't happen here. I think that was a beautiful quote, and I'm really happy that they're, even if they can't immediately shut down the headquarters, that they're moving people out of there and forcing them to fight crime, forcing them to investigate. I think that's really healthy for the whole country.
All right. American Nerd for 3. Bondi and Noam should go when Vance POTUS. I agree. Bonnie's worthless. I don't know what she's doing. She's going to Sean Hannity every night. I'm getting sick of this crap. Do your damn job. Where are the indictments at for the Act Blue stuff? Where are the indictments at for Dems? Literally saying we got to kill Trump. Where's that stuff at?
Big government.
Like this is what people got to do. Listen, this is what I want to start doing. Here's the thing with Trump. He's one of the few politicians that actually listens. Everyone agree with that? He's like one of the few that listens to the base. If the base gets loud enough, he's going to actually make a comment about it. So how about this? Instead of bitching about, Cash Patel's, what is it? Like an agent of somebody?
Rhino.
I don't know.
A rhino because Epstein.
Yeah, instead of saying that, just get loud. So Trump's people can hear you. And Trump can eventually see it. Be like, hey, we want investigations, we want indictments. Explicitly tell what you want. Don't just say, oh, Cash Patel's a rhino. Explain why we don't like what we're seeing. Just do that. Is that so hard to say or do? Is that complicated? All right, Mike.
Let's talk about defined L's once we're done with that.
The
super
what?
chat. Defined L's.
Mike for 2. It's just a Fox News DOJ, nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, it's a Fox News DOJ. That's a good way to put it. Camera full of God for 2. Hide your dogs from Christy. Oh gosh.
I do recommend people though, like if you want positive news about the DOJ, I mean it's not going to be with Bondi right now, but Tucker Carlson did an interview with Harmeet Dillon, who's like in charge of the Civil Rights Division, and she talked a lot about how, I think like they had 600 lawyers all resign because their assignments were basically, how do we persecute whites? How do we persecute Christians? And like that was no longer going to be the DOJ civil rights agenda. And so they just stood up and left. And that's fascinating to me. And that conversation is fascinating. So I recommend that interview. Really cool just because it's an example of our government no longer discriminating or trying its best to not discriminate against us. It's really cool.
All right, hold up. We got breaking news out of Virginia. Hold up. Is this true?
What happened in Virginia?
hold up. So apparently, Winsome Sears under investigation for undisclosed trips taken and paid for by outside groups.
We got a similar situation happening here in Texas with Lena Hidalgo and a taxpayer trip to Paris, or taxpayer funded trip to Paris.
Great. I can't find anything to confirm this, but I'm assuming it's real.
I can show you the Lena Hidalgo stuff.
Gosh. SoCal Loom for 2. Can't wait today, but congrats, rapid weight loss. Thank you so much. Yeah, for those wondering, I've lost, I think I'm up to 20 pounds now last month. So,
Woohoo!
hey, it's a
Very
good
good,
start. Even when I was sick, I actually went down, so it's good. American Nerd for 2. The investigations are important, but not the priority. I just wanted something to happen. I just want something to ever happen. Harmeet Dillon and Ed Martin, the only shining lights. Yeah, that let's be honest here. If it wasn't for Harmeet Dillon and Ed Martin putting the teams on their back, the DOJ would be utterly worthless. Because those two are actually their damn jobs. Ed Martin right now is investigating the Biden stuff, the auto pen, and the prosecution of conservatives. So that's
All right,
good.
so here's the Lena Hidalgo stuff. So basically, a few days ago, commissioners basically shot down her $23,000 taxpayer-funded trip to Paris.
Bruh.
Lena Hidalgo, everybody. This is my county judge.
Good luck.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, she. Both of her elections, she only barely won. Yeah, she even barely won in 2018, barely won against the incumbent in the blue wave, and then 2022 barely. That one was S-worded, but that's beside the
Yeah,
point.
that's I wish Ken Paxton would have done more with that, but anyways.
Yeah, Mueller tried to fight back, but there's nothing she could do in Harris County.
All right, K-Cup for 5. It doesn't help, though, that the MAGA boomers like DC, Drano, and Betty Johnson overhead the small things like Bonnie Do and Drown Us Out. That's the problem. You know, it's like, again, they're doing good stuff. I'm not saying they've done nothing good.
Speaking of influencers.
Oh, gosh, don't you dare.
Yeah, Defiant L's.
Defiant L's got paid off. I don't know. American
Yeah,
Earth.
I don't know what's going on, but they've been doing this for a while. They're basically just posting like Facebook boomer slop for whatever fucking reason. I don't know why. I guess they got like I don't know if they were sold or something. Like
They got sold, I think.
they still every once in a while post the Defiant memes, but it's like few and far between. It's like it's all boomer slop. That's all it is now. And what is
Yep,
this? Trump team orders stop interviews. Okay.
Right, yeah. So we have some breaking news. It looks like from just a few minutes ago, or a little bit less than an hour ago from Politico. It looks like that Trump team is pausing student visa interviews, and what they're going to do is that actually they're going to implement social media into the vetting of people that we let into the
Good.
country to study. Yeah.
Like, guys, hold on. Let's see here. Yeah, so they're going to look at social media. Good. Because, like, the problem I have, guys, or the problem that we have is a lot of these people look at what they're posting on Twitter and stuff. They're literally saying, kill white people, kill Americans, destroy the West, destroy Israel. Again, people are so, like, hyper-focused on the Israel stuff, but the reason the Trump administration is making a deal about it is because these people are acting on it. They're acting on the anti-Israel stuff. Okay?
I guess it looks like there's proof for the Winston Sears stuff.
I'll get that in a second. So,
yeah.
That's what people understand. They're focused on the Israel stuff because that's what they're talking about. That's what they're worried about. It's as if they're committing violence for it. So yeah, exclusive new student visa interviews are on pause as Trump's admin ways requiring foreign students applying in the U.S. undergo social media vetting. Good. If you're saying we gotta kill white people, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here.
We already have enough homegrown people that hate America and hate our way of life and hate who we are. We don't need to import people that hate who we are and hate our lives and actually participate in high-level cultural subversion at the university. We don't need those people.
Yeah, I agree. But this is why I voted for this, by the way. Posted Chubbs posted that. Got what I voted for again.
So real.
I mean, it's right. It's
So
what I voted
real.
for. I voted for crap like this. I voted for, hey, we're going to clean up Harvard. If you're gonna try to tear down statues and try to harass people, no, get the hell out of here. You're gone. Get out of here. American Earth for 3. Virginia GOP needs a better candidate. Anyone but Sears. Did you actually post the link, Real Texan?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
We're the electable candidate, everybody.
Yeah, he could have had Mieres, but he's actually running for re-election, which, because he can run for
I
re-election.
feel so, he's getting screwed in all this. I feel so bad for him. He's the only one doing his damn job.
Mieres is going to lose, by the way. He's going to lose because of down ballot effects. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my gosh. So, she's gonna do worse than Mark Robinson. Oh, it's gonna happen.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I mean, the down ballot effects are not going to be pretty. We're looking at probably a high single digits victory
I
for
think she'd get killed.
Bamberger.
She's already down by, how much is she down by already? Let's see. 2025 Virginia. Let's see here.
Don't some of the polls also have Trump's approval and like his disapproval
some
in
of
like
it's
65
misleading.
or something?
So yeah, but right now the latest poll, Roanoke College, D plus 17.
Yeah, but what's like the Trump approval in
Yeah,
that
Trump.
poll,
I
though?
think it was like minus 20. So it's gonna be, it's probably close to like minus 10.
Yeah, I would say it's probably it's Bamberger plus 7. That's good enough. I'd say that sounds about right.
I told everybody,
But I
don't
think that
support her.
also, but a result like that probably also means Mieres is cooked.
Yeah, he got screwed. He's been one of the most like underrated attorney generals, and he's getting shafted in this.
The other thing you got to remember, though, is that I think in the last 4 years, Richmond has also moved very much to the left.
Yeah,
and
it's.
that's
I was
Yes.
talking to some people. It's like Richmond's the problem now, not Nova, which I was surprised about.
they're canceling each other out. That's the thing.
Yeah, but yeah. So Winsome Sears screwed.
Yeah, I've been pretty down on Earl Sears ever since like the start of knowing that she was going to be the candidate, and I just think she has fundamental candidate problems. But the more I talk to people from Virginia, she also has logistics problems. She has social media problems. She does not know how to interface with the people that can help her get out the vote.
She has a base problem.
And she's also she's a base problem. Like list like from
yeah,
a
base
very
problem
service.
because again she has an anti-Trump past. So
She has an anti-Trump past, but in addition, like as a human being, I'm sorry, but she was in fact, first generation immigrant, and like I know that she did service, but that doesn't really change the fact that I don't think I should be governed by someone who has been learning how to be American over the process of their life instead of just actually being born one. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I just I like people. I don't care if you're, a foundational black or Hispanic or white. I just want you to actually have been born in America if you're going to govern a freaking state.
Yeah, she's born in Jamaica, I think, right?
Yeah, she's Jamaican.
Bruh. Yeah, I mean, like, the problem is, like, we're gonna get killed. This is gonna get bad. This is gonna get real bad. Because, you know what she's running on, by the way?
black.
Hold up. So, she was asked a question a couple days ago about, like, gay marriage. And take a guess what she said.
Civil unions.
She's against gay marriage.
Yeah, she says support civil unions or something like it's, I don't know, 2004.
Why on earth would you take that position in a freaking blue state? I mean, like, you can't even really accuse Virginia of being a purple state.
But George Bush, but Obama.
I saw that, yeah, the one account's like, oh, but Bush 2004. Yeah, 2004 is like 80% of Americans were against it. They'll still
You know what that account said after that?
What?
I don't even think he was born in 2004. I think he was born after.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I was 2 years old in 2004. Even I
know
it was bad year.
Yeah, she has no issues page. I'm looking at her website. She has nothing.
Oh well.
Oh no, she has.
I don't even think Trump's endorsed her yet, and
No.
he probably never will.
American Earth for 2. Is it first generation America, the kid of an immigrant?
No, it depends on the context. Sometimes families come over together. If you come over as a child with parents, you are first generation. If you are born in the United States to immigrant parents, you're second generation. That's Vivek
All right. Okay, I finally got the website here of what she's running on. Okay, let's see.
Okay. Where is her issues page, by the way? Where is her
It's
issues
literally
page?
under Learn More. It's like you have to like dig through the website. That's a good sign. You have to go through 15 different links to find it. So let's see the first thing. Reduce the cost of living.
Okay, not bad.
Winsome's father arrived in America from Jamaica with just $1.75 in his pocket, landing only 17 days before Dr. King's 1964 I Have a Dream speech. Oh my god.
Okay, whatever.
With his own dream of a better life, she grew up with a deep appreciation for the value of a dollar and how the cost of basic necessities can make or break a family. That's why his Lieutenant Governor Winsome has worked so hard to lower taxes. As governor, Winsome wants to make sure Virginia's a place where old families can afford to live, raise families.
By eliminating the car tax.
Lame. Boo.
I mean,
I also want to
to
mention, like, in email discourse, Winsome, either Winsome or one of her staffers has literally put out like broken links to websites to explain things that she wants to do with her campaign. Like there's been zero preparation. She phones in literally everything. Yeah. So I'm just like saying, not only is she a bad candidate on the surface, not only is she a bad platform, she's just bad as an operator. As she functions.
As governor,
don't forget the pic. Don't forget the.
These are the same pictures. I just realized
images.
that.
The stock images. I mean, they don't have the link. They don't
got the shitty the trademark on them. Yeah, they actually paid for it this time.
Oh, look at the protect right to work. You have the diverse group. That's DEI.
Look at tough on crime. What does she say here? As governor, she will end radical policies like catch and release. What? As governor? Hold up. Since when do governors have power over that? What? And ensure violent criminal illegal aliens are arrested, detained, and sent back to where they came from.
Okay. That's lovely. Cool.
Governors have no power in this. What is she talking about? Especially in Virginia. Texas is a different story. But Virginia? You're talking about catch and release?
Well, I mean, our governor just buses them the blue states, so... swing states. Like Pennsylvania.
Gosh. Give every child a quality education, blah, blah, blah. She'll prioritize parents' rights, blah, blah, blah.
Protect right to work.
Oh my gosh.
Right to work also protects workers from heavy-handed union bosses, forced dues, fewer job opportunities.
She's why would you say that?
Oh, look, there's a Muslim in the stock image. That's DEI.
We gotta get out. Give up on Virginia. This is awful. Why would you attack Union?
Okay. It's not exactly a Rust Belt state,
I know.
but it's still a Democrat state. I mean, okay, well, in fairness, there's not really a lot of blue. Actually, there probably is some blue collar manufacturing in like Norfolk, so that
still
might
union jobs. This is stupid.
Because that's like the Navy area, so that might be a little more blue collar. Like Hampton and Norfolk, there's all your blue collar jobs there, like just like the ports and all that. I know
it's Virginia, but you're gonna focus on frickin'.
I saw someone earlier saying like, oh, I know Christian Heinz is going to be so disappointed. Listen, like I've been talking to Christian since like Sears like became the candidate. Like, listen, nobody in Virginia thinks she's going to win. Nobody.
She's gonna get killed.
Like Christian heard Sears running and instantly was like, I guess we're not getting a Republican governor in Virginia. Like it was just like instant. Like he's pessimistic about everything.
Oh, yeah.
He instantly
one
knew
of her
we
top
weren't.
issues is just is men and women's sports.
Oh Jesus.
Men and women's sports. That's that's one way to nationalize the race. Remember what happened when that was one of the top issues in the Omaha mayor election and we got completely crushed?
All right,
because the Democrat ran on roads and the Republican ran on transgender sports.
Yeah. American North for 3. Just focus entirely on the New Jersey governor race. Yeah, I'm sorry, Virginia. You're a beautiful Commonwealth, but it's over. American North for 2.
Virginia. How are Virginia roads? Is that a big issue? Maybe in Norfolk there are, but
American North for 2. Sears probably thinks it's still the 2000s, 2010s. Well, the thing is, we're stuck with her.
It's just the culture war stuff. But yeah, she's the nominee. It's we have no choice. So I mean, I do support Winston Sears, but it's not gonna.
We are gonna get absolutely killed. This is not even gonna be funny.
I mean, if you live in Virginia, vote for Winston Sears. But don't go into it with high hopes.
It's over. I mean, like, this is
Oh,
insane.
and I'll save us about Richmond. The Richmond north of Richmond have moved to Richmond.
Oh my gosh!
So now they're the Richmond in Richmond, or I guess maybe the Richmond south of Richmond because they're all moving to Chesterfield County.
Is she trying to speedrun record for Mark Robinson's campaign? Because Mark Robinson had a record for how fast it collapsed a campaign. Is she speedrunning this?
No, because
I just don't think she cares.
I mean, there's no Nude Africa scandals, so
I think
Actually, don't say that.
What one commentator, like somebody in your comments, said that she's like Kamala Harris, and based off of her behavior, based off of her platform, that's a fair assessment on my opinion.
Republican Kamala Harris.
Yeah,
Republican Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I mean, Mark
Well,
Robinson.
you think that'd be like Liz Cheney, but I mean, Liz Cheney's the Republican Hillary Clinton. But I mean,
if I saw her trying, if I saw her not send broken links out in email correspondence, if I saw her trying to talk to people that actually know voters, that actually are connected to the money, if she was actually doing anything and not phoning it in, I would kind of push back. But she's not. She's basically Kamala Harris.
Yeah. I mean, like, all the work Youngkin put in, it went to waste. They freaking blew it. Kick up for 2. Showman has less of a website as he is better. Yeah. At least it's a functional website.
I guess in fairness, I mean, Youngkin was kind of a fluke to begin with. I mean, he won basically in a perfect scenario where McAuliffe basically fucked up the biggest issue of the election.
All right.
Here's my opinion. If education was not the biggest issue of that election, McAuliffe would be governor right now.
Oh yeah, he would have been.
But now it would have still been close because Youngkin was a very good candidate, but it would have probably been like a lean Democrat race.
Let's see here. American Nerd for 3. Spanberger should have pointed out Spanberger's or Sears should have pointed out Spanberger's CIA links. Yeah, but
that's not. It's the CIA is literally based in.
Virginia. Yeah, it's like that would help her probably.
Yeah, of course it would help her.
That would help her, Virginia.
If any state loves the CIA, it's
oh yeah, it's Virginia.
And again, if like I also said, if Doge is going to be unpopular in any state, it's Virginia.
Oh yeah, Mike for
yeah.
Mike Finn for 2. The Virginia project is definitely crashing out. Oh yeah, they crashed it a long time ago. For those that don't know, the Virginia project, they're trying to make the GOP good in Virginia, but all that work.
And by the way, in my honest opinion, I do think Youngkin would probably lose in 2029. I know he's popular, but I think by the time he would run for re-election, the big issues of the time would just be so much different that I just don't know how he'd be able to. I don't know how he'd be able to adapt.
Well, in other news, everybody, so RMG Research released a brand new poll yesterday, and Republicans are winning the issue of the economy and inflation over Democrats.
Oh, wow, yep. We're winning them now. That's actually.
Well, listen, I'm getting to the point now.
They have no plan. They have no plan.
You know, I'm starting to wonder, would Democrats be better off if the economy boomed for 2026?
No, I mean, it's obvious. Like, everybody suffered under Biden. Everything. What are you going to say?
No, think about this, because I know this sounds crazy, but they're losing on the economy and inflation, which these are going to be 2 big issues for 2026, okay? If the economy still sucks, or not that good. But think about this. If the economy booms, yeah, people are going to trust Republicans more on it, but the economy would not be the number one issue if the economy is booming. Same thing happened in 2018. People trust Republicans then, but what was the number one issue? Healthcare. I'm not saying obviously the economy booming would help Republicans, but I'm starting to wonder, would they just be better off if things got better? So they could talk about some crap that doesn't matter.
I think that'll be a more relevant point, like when more time passes, like another cycle. But like I think it's so soon. Like if people look 2026, people are still going to remember 2024. They're going to remember how bad the economy was, and it's distance. You have to get distance from it before that starts becoming an actual thing. That happened with immigration in Trump's first term. Trump had helped resolve a lot of immigration issues, and people just kind of put it in the back burner of their brain, and it didn't calculate into a lot of people's votes for Joe Biden. But I don't think that mistake will be made again. But because of just how bad, like that, Biden scarred the memory of this country with what he
I didn't
did.
think about that.
And I think it's a similar story for the economy. If the economy is really good in 26 and people remember how bad it was in 24, I think you get retention of everything, in terms of Congress and everything else. But yeah, no, once like 4, 6, 8 years pass, then we start have to kind of talk about, well, what about these other issues?
I didn't think about that because, like, yeah, because under Trump, like, people would say, well, it was also Obama's economy. You know, he got it better, even though he didn't. It was Trump's economy. But,
Nobody believes that anymore.
yeah, everyone realized, oh, wait, this is what happens if you let Democrats in control. They destroy everything. Because people forget, back in 2021, things were back in moving. The economy was booming in 2021, and they fucked it up. All they had to do was do nothing for 4 years. Nothing. And they couldn't even do
Like,
that.
Democrats are able to like grift on economics because we had this long decade period, like point of reference, where all economics was, oh well, Bush crashed the economy right before he left his like his office, and Obama was the one that helped us all out of that rut. But now Biden's destroyed that narrative entirely.
Yeah.
Biden has destroyed any fake reputation Obama had for
Oh, no,
terribly recovering the
he
economy.
saved the economy. Yeah, sure, saved it.
Yeah, and now healthcare's tripled. Yeah, thank you, Obama.
Good job. American Nerd for 2. What if Youngkin ran for Senate in 26 or 2030? Maybe. I don't think he will, though. Mike for 2. Win some what? Not elections. Oh, gosh. Yeah. But yeah, I do think Democrats, though, like, because, like, they're only winning on the issue of, like, healthcare and abortion, which even then, they're not winning by much. They usually win those issues by, like, 50 points. Now it's, like, D plus 20. So even the issues they're winning, they're not winning as much as they should. I don't know what that, like, I still don't know what they got to run on. Because if the economy is getting better, are they going to really run and say, oh, that Trump crashed the economy and Biden saved it? They can't run on that. All right, K-Cup for 5. Demonstrate this country. Look at old footage and seen gas prices. Gas right now is about to be under $2.80. In 2023, it was $3.49 the same time period. Yeah. The gas price is going down. It's going to help Trump big time. It's going to be.
I feel like they could be better though. I mean, we had like $1 something gas.
Oh, I agree. Like we gotta get inflation.
Remember May 25th, 2020, we had like $1.50 gas in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Remember that?
Oh my gosh, real Texan. You really had to mention that.
Yeah.
Every time I see that picture, that picture's like engraved in my brain. But yeah, I do think overall we are gonna see Hold up.
Breaking news.
It sounds like all student visas were halted.
All of them?
Wait, what? Yeah, Insider Wire is reporting that. Hold on. Yeah. President Trump has ordered a complete and total halt to all new student visas. So it's on top of the, they're doing the vetting stuff. Apparently, it's all student visas are impacted by this. Not just some. Not just for
All of
Harvard.
them?
All of them.
So Trump's going to Trump's about to implement like a complete and total ban on foreign students in America.
Yes! I voted for this! Yes! I got what I voted for award. I mean, like, I called it. I knew it. I knew when Trump started going after Harvard, it's like, oh, he's going after the visas. He's going to go after those visas 100%. Now, it turns out, yeah. He's actually going to hold all new student visas.
And probably kick out the ones that are already here.
Oh my gosh. Will Trump...
Which I think that would... I mean, if he kicked out all the ones that are already here, that would probably be a very unpopular move.
I don't know. But can you imagine if he starts going after H-1B visas, I don't care what he does for the next 4 years. I got exactly what I voted for. I got everything.
Yeah.
Massive W's. Come on, Trump, do it. Ban H-1B visas. They have the power to do that. They can just say, oh.
Ken Paxton was just kicked out of the Texas House floor for some reason. That's
oof. But yeah, what did you just send? What is this?
Democrats consider a shadow cabinet to help them take back power.
Wait, a shadow cabinet? What? We don't have that. That's illegal. We don't have a shadow government.
But this is a difference.
Oh my gosh. Wait, who's on this list? Did I?
Mark Cuban, Letitia James, she's in for Trump in prison, and John Fetterman's wife.
Let's see who. Is that Bill Nye the Science Guy?
Yep. Katie Hobbs.
Nah. No, this ain't real.
It's
What?
there's got to be a link. Hold on, I gotta find
the link. 21 unexpected. Oh, this party's learned nothing. But wait, shadow cabinet's illegal. We're not the UK where we have that shit. We don't have that here. There's no shadow government.
Oh, there's a.
This is like a Reddit. This has to be a Reddit parody, right? This is something you see on Reddit. All right. Let's see.
Okay, here we go. We got Politico.
Can you pull it up?
Yeah.
American Earth for 3. Tired of winning yet, rap? No, not yet. I need more. I need more winning.
Also, here's the Zachary Donany tweet right here. The final presidential swing estimates.
Oh, I got it right here. I can't pull up the link. The stupid Politico. I can't pull it up. Yeah, so from 2020, 2016, or 2024, Republicans made... Wow, the Asian shift was actually much bigger than black shift. Actually, makes sense.
So basically what it is, it's, the Asians are always... Of course, the Asians are bigger than the black shift.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
Blacks barely move. Whites only move 2 points to the right.
Yeah, that's about right.
So basically, we won the election because of Hispanics.
Can you imagine being a Democrat from 20 years ago that they banked on the Hispanics like voting Democrat forever? And the reason they lose is because they're Hispanics.
So yeah, whites moved 2 points to the right. Hispanics moved 21 points to the right. Asians moved 11. Blacks moved 6.
Trump won because of Hispanics and Asians. I'm gonna laugh. Oh.
And the Asians, I think, are mainly the Indians.
I'm guessing the natives, yeah. Like they're American. I'm guessing it's Native Americans too.
Not natives. Well, natives don't count as.
Oh, natives. Sorry. I misunderstood what you said.
Indian.
Yeah, Indians. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had a brain fart. Sorry about that.
You know the call center people. Yeah.
I know. Like half a year away from the election, this is like now an antiquated talking point. But how long was the idea of the multi-ethnic working class coalition mocked and ridiculed in public spaces?
I would say about a decade.
Trump came in and said, listen, you guy doing plumbing, you guy doing electricity work, you guys doing trade work, you have more in common with the white guy that's doing the same job as you than these people. I had a different word in mind, but I said people.
Okay, so
these yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so basically it was brought up by Alyssa Slotkin on a Politico interview.
Oh my gosh. They're actually real about this.
Okay, so here are the members that are proposed. Samantha Power as the Shadow Secretary of State. Lena Khan for Shadow Secretary of Treasury.
Go on.
General Charles Q. Brown Jr. for Shadow Secretary of Defense.
Q. Brown.
Letitia James, Shadow Attorney General.
Just keep going.
John Tester, Secretary of the Interior, Shadow Secretary of the Interior.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll just say their titles. John Boyd Jr., Agriculture.
Is this real?
It's on Politico. Mark Cuban, Commerce. Bobby Olvera Jr., Labor. Josh Green, Health and Human Services. That's a former governor of Maryland. I think that's former governor. Actually, no, current governor of Hawaii. Jeff Speck for HUD. Mayor Freddie O'Connell for transportation. That's the mayor of Nashville.
This is the most Reddit thing I've ever heard. This is insane.
Mary Barra, energy. Katie Hobbs, education.
What? What?
This one's a beauty. John Stewart, Veterans Affairs.
Jon Stewart? No, you're lying. No.
It's on Politico.
They're gonna have Jon Stewart as who?
Veterans Affairs.
Why?
All right. Giselle Fetterman, a literal illegal immigrant, as for Homeland Security. Bill Nye for Environmental Protection Agency.
What the fuck?
EPA.
Just
Laura Kelly for OMB, Management and Budget. So probably after she leaves office, I guess. Michael
Wow.
Collins, DNI. Not the Congressman Mike Collins. This is a different Michael
Yeah.
Collins.
this is insane.
Let's see. Abigail Spanberger. Incoming Governor Abigail Spanberger for Shadow Director of the CIA.
Yeah, that's the most Reddit thing I've ever seen. For those who are wondering, like, Democrats they're talking about having a shadow government, maybe, which is illegal. That's literally treason, by the way. We don't have that here. So.
Oh. Ben Stein for Trade Representative.
What the hell?
In fact, that was I guess he's from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the teacher.
These people are literally like Redditors. They're on Reddit all day.
Actually, Ben Stein, I think, is a politician. Is he?
Well, you keep calling them Redditors, but this is like an official outlet that we use for news and that everybody treats as like an extremely serious news source.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the catch to me. These people are so emotionally fragile and so addicted to just owning power and like not even doing anything good with it, just owning power, that they're now having to fantasize about what they fantasize about a shadow government.
Here's the thing: Ben Stein is actually literally Republican and actually voted for Trump before. But I think he's still an opponent of tariffs. So
all right, Mike Finn for 2. Biden U.S. aid adamant for Shadow State Lamau. American Nerd for 2. Jon Stewart did kind of help 9/11 victims, but still. American Nerd for 3. At least Jasmine Crockett is on the list. Oh, she would be like president. They're saving her for VP.
Oh yeah. Last one. Nikki Glaser for small business.
Oh my god. You know that cabinet would like kill this country in 5 minutes. We would be dead in 5 minutes.
I mean, that still could be a future cabinet for a Democrat administration.
We can never let these people win. K-Cup for 2. Ask someone for 2007 to make a cabinet challenge. Oh my gosh, a cabinet for 2007 would have been awful. You think this is bad?
I think that these people should be allowed to form their shadow government under one condition. They never get to touch real government ever again. I think
agree.
that's it's a fair trade. They get to have their fantasy. They get to pretend that they can fix everything. And then they just go off in the corner and then we actually fix the country.
Well, the thing is, this is illegal. There's no shadow government. This has to be a Logan Act violation, right? Right?
It's not illegal. It's not illegal if it's for democracy.
It's true. That is true.
Democrats are above the law, you know.
Redditors and drama kids unfortunately make up a huge part of the media. Yeah, they do.
How does a shadow cabinet even work, though?
It doesn't do anything. It's just like the UK has a shadow government they don't do anything. They kind of they pretend to do stuff. It's like they're LARPing. That's what they do. It's stupid. This is a government cabinet from a parody movie. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not even a thing in America. It's been proposed, but it's
illegal.
All it is.
It's literally because there's no shadow government. There's only one government. So yeah, we don't live in a Westminster system. Yeah.
We don't live in that system. We don't live in a parliamentary system. The government can't magically. We change out the government rather frequently, but they can't magically dissolve like they can in that system. It's not like there can't be a vote of non-confidence. Is what I'm essentially saying.
We had
I just realized I'm honestly surprised Biden didn't make Bill Nye the EPA director during his administration. That would have been like the most Biden thing ever.
True.
There
But
was
he
one
still
more
could be-
story.
He still could be EPA director in another Democratic
He's been
administration.
dead by then, probably. He's up there in age.
It's not that old, I don't think.
There was one more story I wanted to bring in. I don't know how much commentary you guys will have on this, but I just think it's a significant thing to point out. After 7 months of solitary confinement, Tommy Robinson has been released from prison.
Is that a name we're allowed to say on YouTube?
Excuse me?
Is that a name we're allowed to say on YouTube? Because he's... I think I feel like YouTube kind of treats him as like the other, Fick Duentas,
Jeez.
Okay, well, I'll say TR. So TR, as you guys know, covered a lot of scandalous material. He was helping uncover a mass industrial scale a rape contraption for native British people. And he was also showing how, in like the abuses of the system in his film, he showed that the abuses of the legal system in the UK are even more egregious than the ones in the United States, and how essentially they pay teachers, they pay staffers, they pay social workers, whatever, all to just lie. To lie about what actually happens so that mainstream news media stories can proceed. And the reasoning, the justification for all of it is trying to reduce racial tensions, because they feel like that their native population will blame immigrants for the industrial rape of their children.
All right. So, American Nerd for 2. Shadow Cabinet UK complains till the next election. That's literally what they do. That's old. They just sit there and complain. Jacob, but that's a different system. We don't have that here.
Well, but again, like the purpose of it, if you're confused, is basically the idea: if there's a vote of non-confidence and the government dissolves, and there's a snap election, which we don't have, but they have snap elections where they can have a random election. Well, a government needs to get put together really quickly. In the United States, Trump had so long to put together his government. He had people nominees ready before, like months before the election even happened. And so in that system, when you have random snap elections, you don't have enough time to put together a government. So the idea of a shadow government is, the second largest party, they can kind of just swoop in there like at the ready. That's part of the reason why it exists. There's no necessity for it in our system, because you always know when the next government's going to appear.
All right, Jacob.
All right. By the way, update on the visa stuff. According to Politico, there may soon be a new requirement to social media vet all applicants.
Yeah, we saw that. Yeah, so they're not just going after Harvard. That was what people were saying. It's like, they're going after Harvard. No, if they're going after everybody, they're just making Harvard the example. It's interesting. So, please, can Trump just like ban all foreign visas? If he does that, I will celebrate for like 10 years straight. Jacob Martin for 5. Jay needs to be a termer. We need 12 years minimum away from them from getting power. Yeah, give them 12 years, and then hopefully go away.
Social Security's removed. 12.3 million individuals listed as 120 years or older.
American Nerd for 3. TR Theodore Roosevelt. Yeah, we're totally talking about Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah. Also, today is the 2-year anniversary of Ken Paxton's impeachment. And now he's the front runner to be the next senator of Texas.
Yeah. Let's see. Hey, Rap, do you think the New York Times will have Alan Lichtman make his prediction in 2028? He got so embarrassed. I hope they do.
I think he's probably going to... He's in his 80s, so I think he's probably going to retire, but we'll see.
That whole, like...
He might just have his son do it.
Oh my gosh. The LARP's going to continue. The crazy
it's not going to be his son. It's going to be Mr. Beat. Mr. Beat's going to be the new Alan Lichtman.
The crazy thing is
future Kansas Senator Mr. Matt Beat.
The craziest thing about this is like, if he did not have Trump derangement syndrome and actually was honest, he would have been right. He would have been right. If he was just honest with everybody and say, yeah, Trump's going to win. The keys really showed a Trump victory. If you applied it fairly, it showed a Trump win.
Honestly, if the keys were applied fairly, they probably would have showed a Trump victory in 2020, but that's...
Well, 2020, with COVID, that, like, you can't... 2020 was such a weird election, you can't really...
I think maybe he also got to weigh some of the keys, like, the economy probably ought to be weighed, like, more than fucking charisma or something. I don't know.
Well, that's always a problem. Like, if you applied it fairly, it would have been right in 2024.
Wasn't he trying to argue with his keys that Biden was a scandal-free presidency?
Yes.
Wasn't that like one of the arguments?
Yes. He argued there were no scandals. He said that there was no primary challenge. That there's no primary whatsoever. They united behind Biden, or actually Harris.
There wasn't like one single major primary challenge, so that doesn't count.
Well, and the crazy part is, it's like she literally got no delegates in any primary, any real primary. She got nothing. So, why'd you predict Florida being close? They literally did. I remember that.
Didn't he have Florida going to Harris or something at one point? I don't know.
They had to like toss up. I remember that, or like lean Democrat. I remember.
I think they had the free 19 map for Harris.
And then you just see like the first results of the Miami-Dade. They just drop it. It's like R+4.
And this is freaking embarrassing people. Like you're right, like all of these people embarrassed themselves. They're gonna be back in 4 years as if nothing happened.
The same grifters.
But these people, like even Nate Nickel was made an article about Blue Alaska. Like think about that.
The worst part is the thing that pisses me off is like I was wrong in 2022, but I was one of the few that actually accepted and be like, yeah, I was wrong. And these same people like, you were wrong in 22. These same people had like Biden winning 413 electoral votes and then Harris winning like Iowa and stuff. I was wrong in 2022 because turnout was fucked up. That's an actual reason. I did not expect the turnout to be like that. If it was right,
these people have readership and viewership magnitudes larger than this channel, and they make like some of the most nonsensical, inane BS takes ever. Comparably, you have a better track record.
Luke just joined, by the way.
Yeah, we're about to end the stream a little bit, so.
Hey, Luke, did you see the Shadow Cabinet article?
No, I didn't.
It's Reddit. It's pure Reddit.
You gotta run down the list of names. I mean, you got people like Bill Nye the Science Guy's EPA director. You got ridiculous shit.
This is like their opposition cabinet then?
Yeah, you got like Letitia James as their attorney general. Which actually, I think if a Democrat does win in 2028, Letitia James is the frontrunner.
Oh yeah, she'll be attorney general day one.
100%.
And
and John Fetterman's wife, who's literally an illegal immigrant, as Homeland Security.
Cherokee Bear for 2.5. TDS is a mental health issue. Look at Joe Walsh. It is. But so yeah, like I was wrong in 2022, which people still like make a big deal about that. It's like, yeah, I was wrong in 2022 for actual reasons. The people that are right were right for the wrong reason. I was wrong because of turnout. I was expecting more Trump voters to vote. I was expecting more Trump-friendly environment. So, I made like 5 videos on that.
Oh no, and here's the funny thing with 2026 is Trump being in office may inadvertently raise Republican turnout.
Yeah.
Because I think in 2022 a lot of Republicans were just like, see, even if we vote, we don't win like 2020. They're like, why are we going to vote?
There was severe demoralization last midterm, so that is something to keep in mind.
Yeah, especially if we do end up having a shock win like in New Jersey or something this year, I think that could also motivate Republicans to maybe turn out. We'll see, though.
Yeah, we'll see.
Average Republican voters believing that their vote can actually change something dramatically probably affects turnout.
Yeah, and I would argue 2022, it was just a weird election, and again, that was the only election I was actually really wrong in, because 2020 was such a shit show, and the only state I was really wrong in was Minnesota. I thought, okay, the riots were going to help Trump. Turns out, no, that didn't happen, but...
I'm guessing, honestly, George Floyd's death overall probably was like a big turnout boost for blacks or something, so...
Yeah, that 2020 was like a weird election. 22 was the only one I had a real miss in, but that was a different story.
I will say, as of right now, we're still a year out, but as of right now, the data that's coming out of pollsters doesn't look good for the generic Republican ballot. And
doesn't look too bad though. Isn't it only like D+1 right now?
It's D+1, D+2.
It basically the signs point towards a blue ripple.
Well,
but here's the thing. You want to know where the generic ballot was at this point in 2021? It was like D+6
Yeah, so
right now in
I want to
2021.
clear one thing. I do got a video coming out in like a couple hours. It's done. It's actually talked about the Axios article that came out, how they're trying to take back the House or expand the majority. So
Yeah, I guess also in fairness, at this point, Biden was still popular because we
well, this is
didn't
the
have
thing.
Afghanistan yet.
And I would argue that Democrats have a big problem because the undecideds, they hate the Democrat Party. They like Trump. They think America's in the right direction. How do you think they're going to vote? They may not vote,
Yeah,
but
and I'll say this too, like because people are saying, "Oh, there's no way that Republicans could hold the House in the midterms. It's so narrow, and the opposition party always gains." We're not in normal times,
Yeah.
though. The opposition party is not normal. Okay, these are the type of people who, when they make a good decision, like firing David Hogg, they did it because he wasn't an indigenous
he's still there.
bisexual woman.
he's still there, Luke.
Well, they were gonna fire him, and the reason they were gonna fire him was because he was a white man.
Yeah.
You know, like this is not a normal party. If you watch the average DNC, like when you watch their leadership election, all Republicans need to do to win the midterms is buy out TV networks and play the entirety of that leader.
Well,
Like I mean, they
election.
replaced the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem with what is it, land acknowledgments?
Yeah, by the way, guys, I remember like
yeah.
and here's what I would say. If Republicans had half a brain, you know what I would make the election about? Who do you trust more? Republicans and Donald Trump or the Democratic Party and Joe Biden? Because think about it, Democrats covered up Joe Biden's health. Are you going to trust that for 4 more years? Make that the
Yeah,
election.
meanwhile, the Dems, I already said, I think Dems, I straight up think their campaign in 2026 is going to be, remember when Trump crashed your 401ks
Yeah, that's
a year and a half
strategy.
ago?
That's your Hail Mary.
That's what it's going to be. Like,
Again, I'm optimistic about it, but I just want to make big polling data's point
I
about
agree.
it. And what Barris's point about it was basically just that these 2026 midterm contenders must adopt Trump's agenda. Like all they need to do for their campaigning, they just need to sit down with their media managers and whoever's buying ads for them and watch the content being produced by the White House and the various departments. Just read the content, consume the content, emulate the executive branch's messaging, and you will succeed. Emulate the policy, not just like, oh, because everybody clings to Trump. Everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm a Trump guy.
I'm pro-Trump.
Actually emulate and replicate his policy positions, and you will do well.
You know what they should do? Like, here's what I would do. Just copy what Doug Berger posts on his Twitter account. Yeah, see those videos? It's like it's the Secretary of Interior account. It's like literally the most wholesome stuff possible. Just him going to the national parks. Just do that. Just something.
Well, no, it's good. Like
just something.
The ad from the Department of Labor I posted earlier, it was really good. They've been putting out good media. They just need to replicate those policy positions. And it's time for Republicans to change face. Republicans in 2018 refused to adopt the Trump brand. It's been 8 years. It's time. It's time
Right.
for you to move on as a party.
So yeah, time to get the time to read the rest of super chats, and I do gotta get going. So last calls for super chats, folks. American Nerd for 2. Surprised Cheney or kissing ass wasn't on the shadow cabinet list. I'm surprised too. Mike for 2.
Honestly, that is a surprise because he probably would be like he would be in like a foreign policy position.
Here's one thing I will say: and that's a big if. The fact that it's even a big if is crazy to the state of the Democratic Party. But if there even is a Democratic administration in the next 15 years, you can guarantee that Kissinger and Cheney will, or at least one of them will have a role in there somewhere. It might not be like some major role.
All right. Mike for 2. If Jack wins New Jersey, I think 2026, 28 New Jersey is a toss-up. I agree.
No, I think the NRSC will definitely look at New Jersey if Citarelli wins easily.
All right, American Nerd for 3. I hope and pray that the GOP doesn't screw up in 2026. What I think's gonna happen, I have a video playing later. Video's gonna come out like in a couple hours. I think what's gonna happen is Trump's gonna carry these bums over the hump again. It's gonna happen again.
Yeah.
He's gonna freaking do it again. These people suck. He's gonna do all this freaking work and he's gonna barely get a majority. All right, American Nerd 5. How was your Memorial Day yesterday, Rap? Mine was okay. Watch Hacksaw Ridge. That's a movie everyone, especially Christians, should watch. Yeah, I had a pretty good Memorial Day. So
yeah, can I share a Memorial Day story? Because I thought yesterday was actually quite interesting. So I went to 2 parades with the Steele campaign, and then afterwards it was 6 of us went to Culver's with Brian Steele.
Oh,
we talked to him for a while. Yeah. We were talking to him. We were just sitting at Culver's having normal conversations with him, and then Robin Voss randomly showed up. So yeah,
Damn.
I can take eating Culver's with a U.S. congressman and the Speaker of my state house off my bucket list. Wasn't aware that was on my bucket list, but I guess it was added. You know?
All right, so
That's pretty cool.
I do got to get going, everybody. So thank you all so much for watching. Video out later about the 2026 midterms. It's about the Axis article we did talk about, but I have a video planned on it. So we'll be back later.
Tsunami.
What?
Rovember has been delayed to 2026.
Well, the problem,
It's
like,
gonna happen.
I still damn nothing to run. I think you're right. They're gonna run it like your 401ks 5 years ago went down.
Yeah, they're not running on abortion anymore. Notice they're
can't.
not attacking. What are they going to attack about?
Nothing.
Trump's been in power 2 years, and if you reelect him, they're going to ban abortion.
Yeah, this time they'll
like
ban
you said.
abortion. All right, we'll see you guys in the next stream, video, or wherever you see us at. Godspeed.